G'day crew, I've got a deployment issue with my Minn Kota, and this video is about troubleshooting it and hopefully fixing it. I have had other issues in the past, but those were all related to low battery voltage or a problem with corrosion on the cheap plug that I was initially using. However, this time I suspect I have a genuine mechanical issue.
So I'm going to pull some bits off of it, see if I can see if there's anything wrong. I say it can bind on these things, but since it's sitting up off them, I can't see that that's going to be an issue. But there's certainly a problem somewhere. And before I take it in for a service, I think it's worth having a bit of a look at it anyway. With any luck, it might be something I can fix. And I took some advice from the internet and I've put some grease on this, but apparently you're not supposed to grease that, so that was bad advice. I'll lock the stowed switch in there. You can see that, I hope, little switch in there. This presses down, that tells it when it's stowed. 3/16 Allen key. Alright, so all there is to that. Okay, plenty of movement in that sensor, so that's not an issue. That's the thing that tips it, so that's not going to do anything until we get the motor to come out. So the motor coming out is the main issue. There's no noise coming from the motor, so I don't think it's even trying to deploy. Belt tightness seems fine. Alright, well, with the covers off, I'll put some power onto it and just see what we've got. Motor on. The fact that it comes on so quickly indicates that the battery's fine. Doesn't say anything about it under load, but it should be fine under load. The battery's near new and it's fully charged. They say sometimes if you put a little bit of pressure to push it out, that helps when it deploys if it's playing up. Nothing. We've got a flashing light, which means an obstruction. It was working fine the last couple of times I've been out with it, so hoping there's nothing serious. Taking that off doesn't thrill me to bits, but I don't think I've got much of a choice. I'm going to have to. Alright, I had to go and get this set of, I don't know what you call them, star keys or something. I think that one will be the right size. Hope it will be, because if it's not, we don't have it. Alright, ooh. Oh, yeah, as long as they're not in too tight, it'll do. Just go through and loosen them all first. They're not done up terribly tight, so we don't want to over tighten them when we do it up. There's a, I know it looks like a silicon gasket in there. I'd say they're just, yeah, I actually just feel like they just firmed down onto it. I've never had this off before, so this is whatever it was done to when I took it in to get the shaft extended. I originally bought it with the 60-inch shaft, and it wasn't enough for this boat, and I moved it onto this boat, so rather than try and sell it and buy a new one, it seemed to be cheaper just to get the shaft extended on it. Oh, water in there, I don't like that. Oh, good bit of water in there. That'll turn. So that's not the binding issue, the motor turns. So if there is a binding issue in there, it's going to be on the worm gear that drives this belt. And if you look, you see that belt's got teeth on the inside of it, and that's your motor there, and this turns a worm gear down in here, which turns a tooth gear which drives the belt. There's no sign of burning on top there, so we haven't had an issue with this cog coming up, which can happen sometimes. If that comes backwards and forwards, up and down, it'll burn out on one of these ribs, and that hasn't happened, so that's not an issue. So with that off, I'm going to power it on again and just see if we get any movement at all in that. I am quite concerned about that having water in there. The seal was done okay, but that is a concern. Now, let's see what happens. We had movement and it locked up. Okay, so the problem is in there. Damn. Right, let's power everything down again. Take the power off the motor. All I need to do there is just to trip the circuit breaker. Okay, so the problem's definitely in that. Oh dear, bloody dear. So the question is, do I want to open it up and have a go, or do I just want to take it to a service centre? I know what to do. I've got to undo that little grub screw, undo that. Then I can loosen these screws and take the belt off. Once the belt's off, I can undo these screws here and another two over on the other side, and then that whole thing clamshell open. And I guess then it's going to let me see what's inside. That's the tension on the belt. That's not a problem. But the problem let's just see if we can get that off. No, I can't, but I'll get it out of the way there. Perhaps. Just wanted to see if I can get this thing turning freely. I seem to have that working actually. Seems to be going now. I'm going to power that on again and just... Yeah, that's definitely working now. I'm going to power that on again and see if that's enough to free it. Okay. Oh, okay, we had some water in there. Maybe that's allowed. It's got somewhere to run out. No, something's not right.
At this point, I figured that I hadn't quite cleared whatever it was that was in there gumming up the works, so I continued to work the cog with my fingertips until the mechanism seemed to be free. Obviously, I haven't identified the root cause of the problem, other than that something was gumming up the worm gear that drove the cog that drove the belt to raise and lower the Minn Kota. From the fact that I could free it up by turning the outside cog with my fingertips, I would hope that that means there was nothing more than a bit of dried grease that was gumming up the works, or something similarly obnoxious. At least that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that the cog that's driven by the worm gear that in turn drives the belt, which raises and lowers the motor, is made of aluminium and it's started to corrode. I don't know for sure what it's made of, but I have seen pictures of one that had corrosion on it that was consistent with the way aluminium corrodes when exposed to salt water. So I'm just going on that it may be made of aluminium. Whatever the problem turns out to be, at least I caught it early enough so that I could free it up by gently manipulating the external cog.
Let's see if we can deploy this again now. Yep, okay, we're deploying. That is good. That's a good sign. Can we get... Oops, that's not looking good. No, we can't trim. Still something wrong in there where it's not turning. Okay, so we're not got up or down. We're not got any motor action. Okay, something's just not right, unfortunately. Okay. Right. Alright, okay. Might be getting somewhere. We might be getting somewhere. Now, I always give this shaft a clean with the armour all, which is what they recommend. However, I've never cleaned this section where it's inside this piece. This section's never had a clean because I've never deployed it and cleaned it. And I'm sort of hoping that that might be the only issue we've got here. We've got a build-up of dirt and rubbish on here that needs to be cleaned off. That in itself doesn't look too good. Yeah, I don't want to damage it at all, but that looks as though I could use a little light scrape off. Yeah, very, very gently, because as I said, I don't want to even damage the paintwork on this. But I do want to get whatever that is off. Alright, now let's see if we can stow it. Okay, motor stowed. I really don't think that this cover is causing any issues, so I'm going to screw him down properly. Okay, it'll have to be nipped down again, but it's got him in place. Now let's see how we go with deploy. Right. Okay, stow. Right, so far so good. Let's do the arm roll on the rest of this. Now let's try it again. Okay. What happened there? It moved. Oh, we hit that. That's what happened. I forgot the arm was there. We can't go up a bit more. Now we can. All right. That's not all the way down, but it's a good way down. We've got some rubbish happening on the side here. Hold it. What's going on? Well, it could have been hidden when I looked at it before, I guess.
Although I didn't open it up to confirm the root cause of the problem, the fact that I could free it up by gently manipulating the drive cog from the outside is a promising sign, I hope. The obstruction itself had to be relatively trivial because it was impossible to exert very much pressure on the drive mechanism by using just my fingertip. If it happens again, I'll have no choice but to open that housing up and check it properly. For now, I'm just hoping that the problem was that I hadn't used it for a couple of months and the lubrication inside the housing had stiffened up. One other thought that I've had as I've been making this video is that we have paper wasps in the area. They cause a problem, and I leave a piece of heavy fishing line in the engine telltale so that the paper wasps don't go in there and build a nest and block the telltale. It's happened to me in the past. So it occurs to me that if the paper wasps could find a way into the Minn Kota and build one of their nests in there, that could interfere with the gears that extend the shaft. It's just an idea at the moment, but something to keep in mind if it happens again. In the meantime, I'll add it to my checklist to give it a test deploy the day before I plan to go out to make sure it's working. I hope this helps you if you have a similar problem with your Minn Kota. Just be careful applying pressure to that drive cog. I used my fingertips so that I couldn't apply too much force to it. If you need more force than that to free it up, then I suggest you probably should open the collar and see what the problem is inside, or alternatively, take it and get it serviced somewhere. Until next time, good fishing.